Hello students, welcome back to Accounting 2302, Managerial Accounting. Dr. Mercado here with you. In this particular lecture, we are covering content from Chapter 28, which deals with the balanced scorecard and corporate social responsibility. Okay, so this chapter focuses on performance measurement systems. A lot of those measurement systems are explained in the chapter. A strategic performance measurement system basically defines and links strategic objectives to the performance metrics that a company uses. This system helps a company to align metrics with overall goals and objectives, and this is both financial and non-financial aspects, and thereby measure performance relating to the company's strategies. The balanced scorecard is the most well-known example of a strategic performance management system and is outlined in this chapter for your review. Okay, there are some leading indicators that are metrics that indicate something about performance in the future. An example of that, for example, is poor customer satisfaction. That may indicate that sales will be down next month. You provide bad customer service, people are not going to go to your business. Simple as that. Lagging indicators are metrics that indicate something about performance that has already passed. For example, this month's actual sales is lagging indicator of last month's customer satisfaction. Okay, so a leading indicator is for the future. A lagging indicator is for something that already happened as a result of, in this case, bad customer service. Okay, so the purpose of performance perspectives is primarily to help management look beyond the typical financial measures of performance, such as sales and profits, encouraging a more balanced view of performance. So this chapter just gives you a variety of other areas, other metrics to use to evaluate the data, not solely tied to accounting or numbers, but other factors as well. Okay, so the problem that we are going to be covering today is exercise 28-5. Let's look at the problem really quickly. Okay, right here. Now, before we look at the problem, a friendly reminder to please ensure to read the chapter. This chapter has wonderful information about the balanced scorecard, about the importance of corporate social responsibility to a business and its communities. It's just a wealth of information. Please make sure that you do read it before you attempt your weekly assignments. So, exercise 28-5 deals with performance metrics. Okay, so we have Apples and Oranges Incorporated is trying to become more efficient in shipping goods. It is experimenting with two new shipping procedures initiatives aimed at achieving this strategic objective. So management has identified a problem. They want to increase the efficiency of how they ship their goods. Okay, so they have a problem and they've got two strategies to hopefully try to figure out a way to be more efficient. A reminder, the faster customers get their goods, the more satisfied they are. They don't want to be waiting around for their goods to arrive. The company has provided the following data regarding the two procedures after 1 month of implementation. So the company decided to implement two procedures parallel to each other to try to figure out which of the two procedures works the best. Okay, so we have shipping procedure A and shipping procedure B. We've got the number of shipping errors, the hours from ordered to shipped, the shipping time, this is the hours from shipped to delivered. We've got the pounds of goods shipped and the number of shipments provided for both procedure A and procedure B. We are to compute three things. Okay, we're to compute the following performance metrics for each program. Okay, number one, we have to calculate the average number of shipping errors per shipment, rounded to 3 decimal places. Number two, the hours from the time the goods are ordered to delivered, rounded to 1 decimal place. And number three, the average pounds of goods per shipment, rounded to 2 decimal places. Once we do those calculations, we're going to evaluate the information and we're going to identify which program should the company implement moving forward. Okay. So, if we go to the textbook, a lot of information is provided. I'm quickly going to go over performance measurement systems, a little bit of overview of the balanced scorecard, and then we'll transition back into the actual calculations. So a performance measurement system In managerial accounting, it primarily focuses on measuring and reporting information for internal decision making. That is what managerial accounting is. We evaluate the data internally to make better business decisions, make changes to our operations, increase our profit, decrease our costs, things of those nature. Okay. Performance measurement systems are used by management to assess how well employees or units within a company meet the company goals and objectives. A performance measurement system does this by using metrics or measures of current conditions or performance. A metric or measure is a representation of something a person or company cares about. Okay? For example, your resting heart is a metric of your health. Your resting heart rate is not a perfect measure of health, but it is a metric or an indicator to health professionals. Okay? So, in the chapter, they are going to explain to you the balance scorecard. There's four major components to the balance scorecard. It deals with both the financial, the internal processes used by the organization, the customer satisfaction or the customer needs, and the learning and growth that occurs to be able to make improvements to the overall strategies being implemented and procedures by the organization to ensure um, the best overall uh, flow of resources and customer satisfaction along with that. Okay, so the objectives of the performance perspectives are as follows. It allows management to focus on looking beyond just the typical financial major measures. Usually the financial aspect is very important, but there's other things, operational efficiency, customer satisfaction. There's other things that must be looked at that will ultimately impact the financial aspect, but it's not solely just the financial aspect. This can include sales and profits to encourage a more balanced view of performance. Okay, and it organizes the scorecard into the type of performance that we're analyzing and interpreting when management look at this data. Okay, so we want to look at internal processes. What is the process to do X activity? How can we improve that? Who are our customers? What are their needs? How can we improve customer satisfaction? If our customers are satisfied, they're going to be coming back to us. So we always want to make sure we monitor and listen to customer complaints to figure out what is it that we're doing and how can we further improve those areas. And there's always learning and growth, as time changes, as technology improves and is more innovative, there's always room for learning and growth that will be implemented into the processes to yield. Of course, at the end of the day, we want a higher profit, but that higher profit is not solely based on financial matrices, it's based on internal processes and customers satisfaction and customer needs as well. So we are going to be using performance metrics to evaluate the information provided in the problem that we're going to go over right now. Although strategic objectives are useful for guiding management actions, they do not measure whether the company is achieving its objectives. Performance metrics are used to assess performance in achieving its strategic objective, and the objective for the problem is to find a more efficient way to ship our goods. That is what we are aiming for, to finding a process that will yield a more efficient shipping process. Okay, so let's start by computing. Let me just change the font here, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's start with the first requirement. Okay, so our first requirement, let me change this to center it. Okay, so it is to calculate the average number of shipping errors per shipment. Okay, rounded to 3 decimal places. Please make sure that you read the instructions carefully, because sometimes you've got everything right, but you forgot to round as stated, and the system will count it wrong. So we have the average number of shipping errors. That is what we want to calculate per shipment. Okay. Now to calculate that, we need to get the number of shipping errors, and we're going to divide that by the number of shipments. Okay. So the number of shipping errors that we have, so we have to figure out the average number of shipping errors per shipment. Well, how do we do that? How many shipping errors do we have? According to the problem, and let me label them because we have to do for both. We have to do for product procedure A and procedure B. Procedure A, and then we're going to do procedure B. Okay. So, for procedure A, the number of shipping errors, according to the problem, we have 105 shipping errors. Okay. And we're going to divide that by the number of shipments. Okay. So how many shipments did we have? Well, we had 306 shipments. Okay. So let's get our calculator out. 105 errors divided by 306 shipments. That gives us 0.343 error per shipment. Okay. 3 decimal places. So it'll be 0.343 error per shipment. Okay. We're going to do the same thing for procedure B. For procedure B, we had 132 errors divided by the number of shipments. We had 315 shipments. So let's get our calculators out. 132 errors divided by 315 shipments. That's going to give me 0.419. Okay, 0.419 error per shipment. Okay, so we've calculated that procedure A yields a lower amount of errors per shipment, okay, than procedure B. Okay, so far procedure A is more efficient because it has less errors. Okay, let's do number 2. Because you can't just evaluate using one metric. You have to use a combination of metrics, look at different things to be able to figure out what is my best option. For number 2, they're asking us the hours from ordered to delivered. How long does it take me from the time the customer places its order to the time it's delivered? And this one we're rounding it to 1 decimal place, okay? Hours from ordered to delivered, okay? Now, to calculate the hours from order to delivered, they give us 2 pieces of information. They give you the number of hours, or the hours from ordered to shipped. Okay, so the time it was ordered to the time it was shipped, it took about 16.3 hours for procedure A, 19.2 for procedure B. So this is from the time the order is placed to the time it is shipped. And then we have the shipping time. This is the hours from shipped to actually delivered and received by the customers. Okay, so we have 2 pieces of information. The question asks how many hours from the time it was ordered all the way to it was delivered. Okay, so if that's the case, we need to add those 2 together. So we're going to get the hours from ordered to shipped plus the shipping time. Okay, and we're going to do this for procedure A and procedure B. Okay, so the hours from ordered, and I misspelled ordered, guys, ordered to shipped. Okay, there we go. So for procedure A, it took 16.3 hours from the time it was ordered to the time it was shipped, plus 8.7 hours from the time it was shipped to it was delivered. Okay, that's going to give me the total from how long it took me from when the order was placed all the way to when it was received. So we're going to get our calculator, and that's 16.3 plus 8.7. That's going to give me 25 hours. Okay, and it says to 1 decimal place. Okay, so it took 25 hours from ordered to delivered. Okay, so customers on average are anticipating to wait 25 hours to receive their goods using procedure A. Using procedure B, we're going to have 19.2 hours, hours from order to shipped, plus 8.5 hours for shipping time. So if we get our calculator, that's 19.2 plus 8.5. That's going to give me 27.7 hours from ordered to delivered. So if we look at this metrics here, we can see that procedure A, it takes 25 hours versus 27.7. It takes 2.7 hours less for customers to get their goods from the time the order is placed until it is received by the customer. And that is what we want. We want efficiency. We want to be able to send the customer the goods as fast as possible so they can receive it as soon as they can. Okay? So that is metrics number 2. Metrics number 3, okay, is average pounds of goods per shipment rounded to 2 decimal places. Okay, average pounds of goods per shipment. Okay. Now for the average pounds of goods per shipment, we've got the actual pounds that we shipped. So we're going to get the pounds of goods shipped, and we're going to divide by the number of shipments. So we want to know the average pounds of goods per shipment. So basically what they're asking you gives you the formula, okay? Pounds of goods per shipment. So the pounds of goods divided by the number of shipments. So we're going to do this for procedure A and procedure B. Okay, so pounds of goods shipped. Using procedure A, we shipped 860,000 pounds, and we're going to divide that by the number of shipments. We had 306 shipments. So then that's going to give me 860,000 divided by 306 shipments, 2,810.457. Now the problem says round to 2 decimal places, so that will be 2810.40. Now look at that number. The third digit is a 7, so that means it's going to be that second digit is going to be rounded up to a 6. So it'll be 2810.46 pounds. Be very careful on your rounding. If the third digit is a 5 or greater, you round up the second digit, okay? So we're going to have 2,810.46 pounds of goods per shipment. For procedure B, we have 797,000 pounds over 315 shipments. Let's see what that gives us. 797,000 pounds divided by 315 shipments. That's going to give me 2530.15. Look at that third digit, it's an 8. Because it's a 5 or greater, I'm going to round that 5 up to a 6. So it'll be 2530.16. And why am I rounding? Because that third digit is greater than a 5. If it's greater than a 5, that second digit is increased by 1. Okay? So it'll be 2,530.16 pounds of goods per shipment. Okay. So we've got procedure A and procedure B. If we look at the data, procedure A, we are shipping a lot more pounds than in procedure B. So by us shipping more pounds, it's cheaper for us. So we want to be able to maximize that. When we're making a shipment, put as much pounds as we can into that shipment. Okay. So these are the 3 metrics that we are calculating. And then based on the data, which program should the company implement moving forward? Okay, this is letter B. Okay, so if we look at the data, okay, given the performance metrics that we just calculated, the company should probably implement procedure A moving forward because it has fewer errors per shipment. So if we look here, we've got fewer errors on procedure A, and then we have, it took us less time to get those goods delivered from the point the order was placed until delivery time. It took us less time than procedure B. So on top of it, we having fewer errors, fewer hours from order to delivered. Okay. And then last but not least, we were able to ship more pounds in less shipments. Okay. So all three metrics point that procedure A is more efficient than procedure B. Less errors, less delivery time, and more pounds per shipment. Okay? So, using the data of both procedures, we're able to compare and contrast the information and then make a decision. Okay, we've set out these two initiatives. Let's monitor, let's track them, and let's see which each one produces. And then we'll try it a month or two or three, and let's figure it out, and then we'll analyze the data and make a decision from there. From this point forward, this is what we're going to be using. And in this particular problem, all three metrics, procedure A did better than procedure B, so that is what the recommendation to management should be based on the data provided. Okay, so fairly straightforward. It's just you really analyzing the information and how can you be able to calculate what is the requirement asking of you. Okay, please read the problems carefully so you can have a good understanding of what is it that is asking. Make sure that you are careful with your rounding. Number 1, ask for 3 decimal places. Number 2, for 1 decimal place. And number 3, for 2 decimal places. If you put the wrong decimal places, it will be counted incorrectly. So please just read the problem carefully. Okay, that is it for this question. As you're working on your homework, if you have questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I am available to assist you. Remember, you have 2 attempts on your homework. If you don't do well on the first attempt, please use the second attempt to try to improve your overall grade and obviously get more practice, because what we're doing here, it takes practice. The more you do it, the better that you're going to get at it. Okay, so that is it. If you have questions or concerns, do not hesitate to contact me, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.